Sunday. I believe it's the 21st of July, last I checked. And I just wanted to share with you some powerful takeaways from this past week and, um, and yeah, how they've been helpful to me. And I know you have your own story, your own path, and your own set of helpfulness tools. But I do believe in sharing, so please feel free to share yours as well, with me personally or anywhere where I post these. It's real important to me, and to know that we can reach and teach one another, and that we're becoming more effective in doing that and getting out of our own way. So, anyways, speaking of purpose, so I'm in a time frame of my life where I can get into the shoulda, woulda, couldas. Oh, there's a fly on me, and I got flyaway hair. so, but the shoulda, coulda, wouldas is, I should have done this, I could have done that, I ought to have done this, I ought to have done that, and to think about if I had dreams or aspirations as a child or as a young adult, what have I done with those? Have I reached anybody effectively? Has it helped them on their journey at all? Those kind of things. And then to look at my personal relationships or lack thereof, because I don't have a lot of real close friends or family, and I always take the full weight of that blame. I say something's got to be wrong with me, but again, I know that's not going to serve my highest purpose, and it's not going to help me to be a more loving member of my community or family, or to create new friendships and things like that. And so I had done a series on forgiveness, and it always comes back to light of how important it is. And, to be in this world and to be free from feeling condemned or feel free from condemning someone else is nearly impossible. Especially with social media the way that it is now, that anything that I can see or perceive, and then I have my whole take on what I'm seeing and perceiving, can really put it in a fearful state of mind. And so, my fly friend, so I'm not going to take myself too seriously on this video, that's for sure. So, when it seems that there's something that I feel is unforgivable, or someone has perceived something I've done or haven't done as not forgivable, that feeling just doesn't sit right with anybody. That feeling of shame, guilt, remorse, you know, oh, I'm such a uh, lowly sinner. There is no heaven for me here or there or anywhere. I'm just a lost cause. And, there's no um, win in shame and guilt and blame other than if I can admit that I don't know and that I need help. I believe that God, the universe, answers right away. When I am off the fence, if I think that I'm not receiving an answer from God, if I think that the answer is not coming swiftly enough, it has almost always, when I look in the rearview mirror, the best I can tell, okay, I'll say always, has been because I'm on the fence. So let's say, for example, I say, I don't want to be angry at that person anymore. Please remove this anger from me. And it's somewhat sincere, but I'm still getting benefits out of being angry at that person. What could those benefits possibly be? A false sense of power, false belief that I'm right, and whatever it might be. a sense that I'm not below everybody, that I'm above a few people. All kinds of things I could write into that. And so I'm still receiving benefit. But when I'm off the fence, when I'm truly surrendering, saying, I don't know what to do here, could you please help me? Help always comes right away. It doesn't take its time. It doesn't, at least that's been my experience. And so I had near death experiences. They came up in this Sunday morning service. And so they're important for me to mention because in having those experiences and some of my worldly knowledge experiences, within this world, when it feels like you're getting beat up to smithereens and so darn tired and whatever, it's real easy to slip into pride. Spiritual forms of spiritual pride, intellectual pride, those kind of things. And so, um, and that, of course, is a great divider because if I come at you with advice, unsolicited or otherwise, without you even asking, hey, Kay, what do you think I ought to do here? Then it's already broken down communication. It's already possibly severed communication forever occurring again. And that's not why I'm here. And I know I've done that. I want to be approachable and be able to approach others. And that's difficult for me to do. I can talk on these videos. I have talked in front of thousands of people. But when it comes to interpersonal one-on-one relationships, I could be, all tongue-tied and not know what to say or what to do or how to approach it. Or if it's something of the world, same thing. I don't have a lot of confidence there. So back to the near-death experiences. So I had these near-death experiences in life, and the first one was by a seeming accident. And I was riding a horse, and we had put a saddle on the horse that was not the correct size. And it slipped to the side. My foot got caught in the stirrup, and then I got drugged for a little while. And when I released myself, I landed on my bottom and flew back and hit my head on a rock. And I don't know how long I was unconscious for. And the person that I was riding with came back, to check on me and all of that. And then I remember the days or weeks following that my mom was given instructions not to allow me to sleep, and that if I needed to sleep, to check on me often and make sure that I could come to. And so during part of that experience, I had my first near-death experience. So that was a time in my life that it was seemingly a lot of innocence. There wasn't a lot of exposure to anything contrary to that. And the people that I was around and so forth. But the feeling of innocence and defenselessness, that there's nothing to be at war with, nothing to fight against, nothing to defend against, and the feeling that of awe and wonder of so many things. I just remember being in awe and wonder of cattails on camping trips, awe and wonder of animals and their behaviors and when we connect with them, awe and wonder of love between two individuals, whether it was adults or whether it was, say teenagers, 20-ish-ers, and seeing the beauty in all of that. And my next near-death experience, a whole bunch of stuff had occurred that would seemingly have ripped my innocence, or I chose to leave my innocence behind. And I was a heavy drinker, and all that went with the debauchery that goes with that. And, and now I see myself, in the rearview mirror of that experience with a lot of the eyes of forgiveness that I wanted to mention today. And so, whatever we think we have done, or what we've actually done, or what we perceive is wrong with us, or we perceive is wrong with someone else, to ask, in my case, my chosen spiritual path is Christianity overall, and is to say, Holy Spirit, help me to see this differently. Help me to see what it is I'm really seeing. And do I have innocence? If so, what does that look at? Are they innocent? If so, what does that look like? Is there something to not be forgiven? If so, show me. And anytime I've asked that question, nothing was shown other than what I believe is unforgivable, not what is actually unforgivable, what I believe to be unforgivable. And so, me and my opinions and my experiences within this world can go against that. And so, in my second near death experience, what I experienced was all the perceptions of where, by other people and by myself, but primarily by other people, when I was injurious to them in some way, or they felt abandoned by me in some way, or they felt cast aside, anything not included by me, and they wanted to be included with me or wanted to be a part of my experience, or felt that I was their friend and I treated them otherwise, or had my own best interest in heart and I wouldn't let them interfere with what I was doing. I got to feel what they felt in my presence during those times, which of course was very weighted, very heavy, very real of within our bodies, we can be injurious to one another. We can shut off communication. We can feel dejected, alone, and abandoned. We can feel, unloved and unloving. And so I felt all of that, and I felt the times that I cast myself out and how awful that feels. And then I was shown, in lack of a better word, all the times that I made somebody's day, that I gave them comfort, that they felt uh, innocent in my presence, that they felt welcome, that they felt accepted, and all the times that I felt innocent, welcome, and accepted. And so it's like, that's the ticket. Okay, I want to do more of that. But I also like where I am right now, which was not in the body, in the presence of all-encompassing love, in the presence of the greatest teacher, ever to teach, and just experiencing all of this and knowing that, oopsie, that, just a mistake, just a bump in the road, and nothing has occurred here, all is well. And so even those feelings that I felt of injury and being injured were no longer true or real. It was just, oh, whoops, that's what I thought was going on. But in reality, a spirit can't be harmed. A spirit is forever. A spirit is all knowing, all loving, all creating, all forgiving, already forgiven, already innocent, no need of defense or defensiveness, and no need to attack. No competition is necessary. And I mentioned earlier today that was the biggest relief to me, because I don't know what I was in competition with, but I was always in competition. I guess overall for my father's affection, I wanted to be a big deal wherever I went and tried to compete like that, and tried to, be above my peers, or whatever, in skills or knowledge, or whatever. And the other side of that was, is I always felt way less than everybody. And so I had to fight just to be somewhat equal. So I'm already feeling all way less than everybody and everything. And now I'm trying to also impress my father. So when I had that spiritual experience and the feelings and the that went with it, and knew that no competition, there is no competition. We truly are all equal. all knowing, all creative, all loving, all lovable beings, spiritual beings having a human experience, if you will, or asleep within a dream. There's a lot of different paths that have different takes on it that to me are exactly the same. And if you grew up in a place that there isn't Christianity, I don't believe that you're going to hell in handbasket, which is not a popular belief among Christians. But for me, the way, can't be missed, and the truth is built within and will always be there for us to have access to remember, and we're free. But back to the spiritual experience, the near death experience. So there I am. And so again, I knew without a shadow of a doubt my innocence and felt that lack of needing to compete, and what ease and comfort came with that. Like, oh my goodness, what a colossal waste of time that I spent in that experience, because I thought it was, completely behind me, not to be come back to at the time of the experience. I said, "Oh, shoosh, wow, okay, well, I'm glad I'm not doing that no no more." So then what I was shown after that can't really be put into words, and it was a combination of beliefs again, of what I have had believed up until that experience, and shown the golden nuggets, the general universal truths about all of it, and how you know uh, to bring it back home, so to speak, how to return and feel at home again with this decision that I made to be separate and special and different um, than than having it all. That's the insane part about it. So I'm sitting here co-creating with the Father. I would, refer to the Spirit of the universe as, and, hey, I got an idea. I think I could do this different or better, or I want to be special. I don't want to be um, an equal among all of creation, and then here I am, having this experience. So the thing about spiritual experiences, and anyone you've met that had them, near-death experience or a experience where they were awake and conscientious and in this experience, or within dreams. A lot of people have had spiritual experiences. And my experience with those experiences is they speak to us in a language that we'll understand, that are special to us and not necessarily meant for anybody else other than us. So I'm not going to go into all the details of the near-death experiences that I had, more than one, more than two. And a lot of my choices led to those near-death experiences because it seemed that within the body I wanted to live fast and furious and quick and short and go out with a bang and be a hero type thing. There was that side of it. And then the debase side of it was, I can't stand this pain. I can't stand this experience. I can't stand me. I'm disappointed I'm here. Why bother? A lot of depression, anxiety, things like that. And so, in any wake, whether I was awake, dreaming, or had these near death experiences, one thing all these experiences had in common is it was a heart to heart conversation in a way that was so meaningful to and loving to me. And so I'm guessing that there's a lot of people who've had spiritual experiences, but they don't have a name for it necessarily. But they have these experiences that seem real and personal, and they don't really want to share them with anybody. And it's not that we do need to share them with everybody. But it is nice to know that we're not the only ones having those experiences. But back to spiritual pride. So the things that I learned for myself individually, the the bonds that were broken, the self-imposed prisons that I was freed from as a result of those experiences, I felt like I had to shout at the mountaintop and share with the world. And it's not that I shouldn't, wouldn't, couldn't need to shout that at the mountaintop or share it with the world. But the matter is when, where, how, to whom. And I need more than my mortal physical brain to know the answer to that question. I have to ask for direction. I do have all the knowledge of the universe, as we all do, at hand, but I have to ask permission and direction of where to do that. Because if I come at somebody who has having a fearful experience of any kind, they're in fear or they're in hatred, and the sights are honed in, that's all they're going to see or think about, and I'm coming at them, with some spiritual nugget or whatever it happens to be, or some awareness that I learned. You're not a body. You're free. You're still as God created you. Like, that's going to be helpful when they're not experiencing that. And the same was true for me. Thank you for sharing, but I'm fine exactly where I'm at. Leave me alone. I don't want your help. I don't want your guidance. I don't want your direction. I'm going to do it my way, even if it's hurting me. So leave me alone. But it can lead to injurious actions, injurious, irreparable harm, not on the whole, not to the spirit, but within this experience and within these bodies. And so I want to remove the blocks between me and my Creator and me and my fellow man and woman. And so that's what I'm setting out to do. And one of the greatest ways to remove those blocks is asking for help. And when I want to condemn me or you, to asking for help of where's, where's the innocence? Can you show me? Is there innocence? If so, what does that look like? How can I forgive this situation? Is there something to forgive? Can you show me how to forgive? And for me, that has been a heartfelt, off the fence, consistent thing throughout my life that I sought after, that I wanted to do, that I wanted to be better at, that I continue to want to do, that I continue to want to be better at. Whereas other issues, a lot of times I was on the fence, and how's the universe going to help me when I haven't even made up my mind? So I'm going to keep on practicing. I encourage you to keep practicing. So if you have any great, to you, great, that's all that matters. If it was great to you, um, forgiveness stories or spiritual experiences that you maybe have never shared, please share them with someone. And know that, and maybe ask who to share those with. Because they are very powerful. They're packed with messages. They're personal for you, and not to be forgotten, because they can be useful while we're here, while we're in this experience. So with that, later, love you. And when I don't, I ask for help. All right. Let's see. No. Oh, did the video stop altogether?